Shalom, Israel.
Shalom.
And welcome again to class here in Houston at the Israelite School of Biblical History and Practical Knowledge. We're located here in Safford, Texas at 231 FM 1092, Safford, Texas 77477. Class days and times are Monday, Wednesday 7 to 9, Friday 6 to 8. And you know how we get down on the Sabbath class, 10 to 2. Virginia, they also got a school out there. Their class days and times are Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, and they're 7 to 9 and 10 to 2, same Sabbath day. But they're as you seen last week, they're going live on Sabbath now, and we will not be. So if you're tuned into the Sabbath class, make sure you check out the VA channel because they will be doing their Sabbath class live. All right, Rochester, we got a school out there in Rochester. Their class days and times are the same as Virginia's. We have another location out here in Texas, which is in San Antonio. Their class days and times are similar to ours, but they start 30 minutes later, and they go a little bit later than us. All right, we also have the Blog Talk Radio with Mashaba. That's blogtalkradio.com/Mashaba. And, you know, there's lots of good teachers on there, Barnabas, Mashaba, and Tazapah. We got other Israelite channels. I'm sure y'all know about those. If not, check it out. If you're on this one, you'll see it underneath the top heading. Brothers, you gotta make sure you're getting your Passover garments in, your garment money, so that all that can be ordered. The final payment is due November 30th. So make sure y'all brothers stay on top of that, so that we can get the garments knocked out early and not be sewing as we walking into the Passover. All right. The next upcoming feast will be Hanukkah. We don't have the dates, but it's going to be in December. We'll give you the exact date here soon. Israel is still accepting orders. You know how they do. They got the Friends Up subscription, shirt and headband. Also, if you want something customized, you can let them know. I'm working in my brain a customized girdle. It's gonna look like a championship belt from One, like the MMA league. It's called One, but it's gonna, like, in my brain I'm putting it together before I shoot the idea to the sisters. But anyways, yeah, you can get something custom. Just hit up the sisters on Israel, and they'll make you something customized. Bring your thoughts to reality. Okay, we got Hebrew Academy here in Houston on Tuesdays, and in Rochester and Virginia, they do it every Monday. If you need to reach a priest or teacher, you can reach Priest Kazakia at 757-300-4047 or Priest Kwatazap at 303-557-8979. We got a business, holiday season. I know we don't celebrate the holidays, but, support. Get something for your friends, for your family, your co-workers. Keep them smelling good, keep yourself smelling good. Everybody know they got that one stinky friend, or that one stinky co-worker. Just lace them on some oils. Be real meek, humble, and delicate with it. Look, I was thinking about you. Bam. So check us out, Sweet Ambiance. It's sweetambiance.com.
Co-workers.
Also, we have Chosen Creations. Chosen Creations, you can find, there's a link for that goes to Etsy, and you can get something customized as far as jewelry, necklace, medallion, if you want to customize a knife, or if you want the customized 10 Commandments, or something, whatever your heart's desire, whatever's in your brain, Chosen Creation can bring it to life. So check out that Chosen Creation. If you want to make any donations, you can drop into the Wells Fargo account. We also got Cash App, Zelle, and Google Wallet. So many different ways. You pick your form, and we will facilitate that. And we thank you for your contributions. That's it for the announcements.
How y'all feeling? Good? Everybody good? Damn, my sisters. Surprise, huh? Okay. Well, it's all good. They can always catch it on the rebound, catch it online. Yeah, shalom to everybody online. I feel like it's been a minute since we've been online.
I know, it's like you gotta get used to it.
Or me. I feel like I haven't even been taught class in a while. But anyway, been a little bit under the weather. But I mean, y'all see the title, accountability. So that's what I want to rap to y'all today about is accountability and why it's so important. Just off top, one of y'all can tell me what accountability is?
Pretty much
Talk loud.
owning up to your actions.
Right. It's perfect. It's right on time, right? The ability to own up, the willingness. I like the word willingness. The willingness. So what he said was accountability is the willingness to own up to your actions. Now, that's whether good or bad, right? The willingness to be able to take responsibility for the good or bad that you do. Now, what's the tricky part about accountability? There's two sides to it, right? Mm-hmm. So what's the tricky part about accountability? Just in what I just said, what do most people always want to be known for?
They're good.
Yeah. Everybody wants to be known for what they do good, right? And as we said that, a scripture hit me. But everybody wants to be known for the good.
Yeah.
Right? What's the one? Gosh. Go to Proverbs real quick. Just on that. People are willing to take accountability, but they want to profess the good that they've done.
26.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Yeah, get that for me.
Proverbs chapter 20, verse 6.
Right?
Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness.
Yeah. Most men he'll take accountability. He'll own up. When it's good, look at the good I did. Right? Oh, I've been studying. I've been reading, brother. Look, I've been counseling her. I've been talking to her. I've been doing this. I've been doing that. They'll raise their hand real fast to be accounted for the good. Right? And that's the tricky part about accountability. Accountability has two sides to it. But for some reason, we only, and the scriptures is telling us, we tend to lean to one side over the other. Well, why? Because what comes with good report? What comes with doing good? Praise, right? Honor, distinction. What comes with having to own up for bad or mistakes?
Yeah.
Chastisement.
What else?
Correction.
What else? Well, let's just deal with those two. But aren't those two things good?
Yeah.
I mean, aren't those two things good? Isn't chastisement and correction a good thing?
They're the way of life.
Yeah, like, I don't care what arena of life you're in, you can't avoid those two things.
Yeah.
But those two things are what keeps you from falling so deep on one end to where now it's just detrimental. But read it again, tell them where you're at.
Proverbs chapter 20, verse 6.
Right?
Most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness.
Right, it says most men will proclaim everyone his own goodness. Because not everybody's on the just let me tell the good I'm doing. Some have a balance. Go ahead.
But a faithful man who can find.
But a faithful man who can find. And that, this is what we're going to talk about, this accountability. There was another one too.
Like everybody wants to be the hero of their story, huh?
Yeah, you want to be the hero in your own soap opera, right? You want to be the hero, the anti-hero. You want to be all the things that are looked at as good. But we know that that's not real. That's not reality. It's not real life. And what does that promote? Go to another one. Go to Proverbs 18 and verse 17.
Proverbs chapter 18, verse 17.
Right?
He that is first in his own cause seemeth just.
Right. Because ain't that what it is, man? I'm going to put out there first the good that I'm doing. I'm going to put out there the good that I'm doing, and I'm going to seem just. Man, she's tripping. You know, I came home and I was in the spirit. And when I got there, she was off. She had demons on her already before I even got there. I'm just calling for this counsel so, I can let brothers know that I stayed in the spirit. And then when you make the other phone call and get both sides together on the phone, it's like, oh yeah, well, when I came home, when he came home, this happened and that happened. And it's like, wait a minute, how come you didn't tell us all the other parts of the story? Yep. How come you didn't take account for the things that set off the situation? But every man that's first in his own cause seemed just until what? Read.
But his neighbor cometh and searches him.
Yeah, man, to that other part come out. Your neighbor is the other side.
Yeah.
But they said there's two sides to every story. Your neighbor is the other side that comes out and search you out or search out what you didn't take accountability for. They'll bring that out where it really don't really necessarily got to be searched out because it'll just get brought out. Oh, well, yeah, when he came home, I was doing this, and then he said this to me, and then I said this. Well, damn, how come you didn't say that you said that to her? How come you didn't take account for that? So this accountability thing is real important we're going to deal with the relationships, obviously, because that's Israel's biggest problem, is the relationship. But then, man, what if you're not in a relationship? Are you just not accountable for anything? Yeah. Well, you're accountable for yourself, right? You're accountable for your actions and the things that you do towards yourself and your fellow brothers and sisters. So accountability is not something that we can just shrug like we're going to read about in certain instances, right? So let's go from there. Oh yeah, what you got?
I just wanted to say this real quick. It's just some synonyms for account. And it says, account for,
right,
explain, give a reason for, give or render, answer, justify, right? So in this, like what we're talking about is this accountability, right? The scripture says that where, when Satan is involved, I'm butchering the scripture, but there's confusion.
Yep.
But Satan is the author of confusion, but the Most High is the author of peace, right? So when you see like these confused situations going on, when there's confusion and a husband and a wife is not at peace, then there's what? Problems. There's issues.
Yep.
So somebody has to take account for those problems and those issues and not act like, oh, okay, this ain't happening. You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or no, everything is just normal. Or no, I don't know what's going on. And I'll say this, especially us as men, the flock of the Most High as men. So we're the strong men in our house, right? Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, the Most High is always going to be looking at us. If there's an issue, if there's a problem, the Most High is going to go right to the man.
Because you can't say you're the man and then not take account as the man.
Exactly. You're not going to be able to, you're the shepherd. You see what I'm saying? So the Most High is coming straight to you. So guess what? That accountability or that account, the synonym is answer for. You're going to have an answer. It can't be, I don't know. There has to be an answer for the situation.
It is what it is.
Because there's a problem. So us as the men, we have to have answers to the problems.
Yeah.
So
we always got to try to find the answers and not just let things shrug off our shoulders like it don't matter.
Yeah.
Right? So
like somebody here put accountability helps with growth. And that's super real. A lot of people don't grow simply because they have no accountability. And You know, the accountability in the scriptures, you can read it. You read Jeremiah. I'm going to go there later. When you read Chronicles, when we're going to pray, right? The Most High just says one thing, only acknowledge. Acknowledge what it is that you're doing, because once you acknowledge, then we can move forward.
Yep.
But if there's no acknowledgement, then what's going to happen is there's not going to be any moving forward. There's just going to be a stagnation, a standstill, or a growing worse. So, yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Go from there. Go to. So let's just deal with a few situations scripturally, just so we can understand. If you're not understanding by definition or by us talking what we're saying, let's go to Genesis 3. Let's go to Genesis 3 and 9, and let's just deal with one of the first situations of a man not wanting to take account for his actions. And we're going to go through 3 situations. I actually added the one that you said.
Oh, nice.
Right? But these 3 situations, there's something that's key in each one of these situations. There's something that's key in each one of these situations. And it's 3 different men in 3 different time frames in history, right? Years and years apart. But no matter what, the situation is still the same. So read that for me. Genesis 3 and verse 9.
It's the book of Genesis, chapter 3 and verse 9. And the Lord God called unto Adam and said unto him,
Right?
Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and hid myself.
Right, so we know, those of y'all that know the Genesis breakdown and been through it, we went through it on Sabbath class. What happened? Eve ate of the tree of good and evil. She brought the knowledge back to Adam. They both partook. They fell. The nakedness was their shame. Not that they were butt naked, but that they were shameful in their actions. Right?
Yes.
So now the Most High is coming to do what? We just read it. What was the synonym?
Oh, he's coming to get an answer.
He's coming to get an answer. He's coming to take an account for these actions. He's coming to say, okay, well, what happened here? Right? How did it get from you mayest eat of the fruit trees to now you eating of the tree of good and evil? How did we get to this point? But see, the problem that happens is when you look at it, there was an answer that was given, but there was a lack of accountability 2 ways, on Adam's part and on Eve's part. We know the serpent came and beguiled Eve, but she didn't take an account for that. We know that Eve was like, yeah, honey, let's do it. Let's try this. But he didn't take an account for his lack, right? Read on.
And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked?
Right, go ahead.
Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat?
Right.
And the man said,
Yeah, I ate from it. What did he say? Yeah, it was me. What did he say?
The woman.
He what?
The woman.
Automatically. That's a yes or no question.
Yeah.
The woman, wait a minute. Did you eat from the tree? Yes or no? Let your yea be yea, your nay be nay. Anything else is wickedness. Right? But what did Adam do? He said what?
The woman.
Right. He didn't want to take accountability for his. We know the woman, right? But did she force feed you? Did she shove information down your throat? Did she make you?
Yeah.
Or did she just present it and then you got drawn away by your own lust? See, that's the problem with this accountability thing. You don't want to take an account for yourself first and foremost and know your own weaknesses. That's why accountability is so hard. It's easy on one end to play to your strengths, right? And highlight like when you go to a job interview, they say, so what's your strengths? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm dependable, I'm on time, I'm a people person. You're like, oh, so what's your weaknesses? And you're like, and never ever say you don't have any.
No. My weaknesses is I'm so dedicated. I'm overly dedicated.
I'm dedicated to a fault. That's
I
not a weakness.
get there early. I always show up early and I leave late.
Yeah.
Too nice.
I'm too nice. Yeah, like that's not a weakness. It's because nobody's really searching out their weaknesses and the things that they come short in to be accountable for those things. So it's easier to just push the negative stuff or the things that you fall short in, push it to the back burner and act like they're not there. But they never go away. That's the problem. We could highlight good all day. We just read it, right? Every man is going to be just in his own cause. Every man shall proclaim his own good. But what happens when you start to get searched out? When that good that you're doing no longer can suffice. And the things that you don't want to talk about and deal with are overtaking. And now you have to give an account for those things. See, this is the problem that plagues relationships, husband, wife, brother, sister, men, brothers, right? Sisters and sisters. Like, these are the things that plague us. The accountability and not wanting to own up. Not wanting to self-reflect and say, man, you know what? You know, I ate of the fruit because, man, I got weak. You know, she enticed me. What?
Can I get one?
Yeah, but let me finish this. Where you going?
Well, it's on the point you just made.
Okay, go ahead.
It's about getting searched out. Go to Jeremiah 17 and 10. Jeremiah 17 and verse 10, really quick. It's a scripture we always go to, actually.
Right, the heart. Right.
But there's a key part in this. Yeah, Jeremiah 17 and 10.
Book of Jeremiah, chapter 17, verse 10.
Uh-huh.
I, the Lord, search the heart.
Because you see how it says the Most High is the one that searches the heart. Yeah, like brothers, we come and, you know, we'll always be first to our cause, right? But what's dope is the Most High is the one that searches the heart. So it don't matter if we're first to our cause, or if we try to put on this facade on how we want people to view us or how we want people to look at us. It says the Most High searches our hearts, right? Check this out, read.
I tried the reins.
Go ahead.
Even to give every man according to his
You
ways.
see that? And then the Most High gives us according to our ways. So a lot of the times when you look at us, we'll put up the facade like everything is good. But then the Most High has given us according to our ways, and in our ways, like what He's given us is showing us in our face that, damn, things are not good. Things are not. Another scripture, it says the curse causeless. The curse causeless will not come. So the Most High gives us according to our ways. So if things ain't going good, if things is lacking, if things is struggling, then we do have to go ahead and make some searches within ourselves too, because the Most High, He's the one searching us before even we get to search each other. He searches us and He gives us according to our ways. You see that? Read on.
And according to the fruit of his doing.
Kind. And yeah.
Yeah, too much of us are trying to live like that. You know, like that Instagram life.
The
Where
Snapchat.
like you look on Instagram and it's like, damn, they living it up. But then behind the scenes, they really just not. They got turmoil, anguish, just like you. That facade, and what it is it's not matching up. The things that you're going through is not matching up to the talk. Oh, I'm good. Everything's good. But then why do you continuously go through the things that you go through? Well, because again, accountability. Not looking at how to stay those plagues. You know what I'm saying? How do you appease the spirit? Well, you got to search out. What does the spirit want? Right? Finish where you at in Genesis.
Look at Genesis chapter 3 and verse 12.
Right?
And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me,
Right?
she gave me of the tree, and I did eat.
Yeah, no. I was about to say something. But duh. We know that's what happened, Sherlock. Right? But what about your part? She gave you, but then you took. See, that's the part that Adam left out. That's the part that he didn't want to own up to. That he stretched out his hand and took whatever she had in her hands, whatever she had to offer. He didn't want to take the accountability that he didn't examine, right? And even if he did examine to see, oh, this is wrong, that he didn't stand up. So that didn't have nothing to do with the woman. It could have been cut off at Adam, whatever it was. All that negative could have been cut off at Adam. But he didn't want to take accountability of that what? He didn't cut it off. He didn't stand up.
You know the high level of not being accountable in this situation is he put it on the Most High.
Yeah.
He took it. He said, "It's the woman that thou gavest me," in other which can imply if you didn't give me this one, if you would have gave me some other one, but you gave me this one, if you didn't give me this one, this would have never happened.
Basically, blaming the Most High. So, lack of accountability, what does it show you? That you shrug the blame and you put blame on others. Right? You start placing blame where it doesn't belong. And we know what happens with Eve, right? Watch, read on.
And the Lord God said unto the woman,
So now the Most High says, okay, well, let's go get the account from the woman. Let's go make her accountable. Let's charge her. What does she do? Go ahead.
What is this that thou hast done?
Right?
And the woman said,
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm guilty.
the,
I messed up. I'm weak. What'd she say?
the serpent
Yeah, we know that. We know it. We know that already. We know what the catalyst is, but why is no one owning up to what their part in this whole play, this whole orchestra? We know that there's a orchestrator, right? We know that. But why aren't you owning up to the part that you're playing in the band? And that's the problem. The owning up and saying, you know what? This negative is in me, or this situation was caused or blown out of proportion or fixed, whatever it was, because of the things that are in me. But I'm gonna give y'all, I ain't gonna jump. So we know the man, the woman, all Eve did was just copy what she saw. Right? Evil lesson. Right? So we've seen a lot of things from Adam having this wisdom and supposed to be this wise man. We're seeing evil lessons. We're seeing lack of accountability. We're seeing blame being passed around in just one situation. Right? So from there, go down to, I want you to go to 1 Samuel 15:2. And these stories we've been over, man. Y'all should be familiar with these. Y'all should be familiar with these. So we're going to go to the next situation, the next story, because this is a common theme in Israel. To not want to own up, not want to examine and look at yourself and say, man, I know there's good in me. Everybody got good in them, right? But ain't there a little niglet in all of us? Ain't there a little niglet that wants to rage out of control and go crazy and do things the wrong way or cater to its own lust? Yeah, there is. There is. And the more you try to deny and act like he went to the perfect scripture, the more you try to not search yourself out, the Most High is going to put you on blast. And your situations will be exposed for all to examine and take account. You see that? So before it starts to have to go on blast, why not take the time within yourself to make an account on yourself and say, wait a minute. Again, I'm going to sound like a broken record. What's the thing that's in me that's holding me back? The brother said, kingdom-minded. I don't know if it's a brother or sister, I'm sorry. Accountability helps. Accountability helps with growth. Right. But lack of accountability stunts the growth. So now you get to go back and say, well, why is not my relationship? Why am I not growing spiritually? My children, why are they at a stalemate? Why are they stagnant in these different areas? See, that's what accountability is about. You ever heard the word accountant? What do? They account for all the numbers that's in front of them, and they put every number in a place to make everything come out and add up, right? So if you had somebody that they say, look, fix my books. Well, I got to account for 30 grand. They're going to go through all the paperwork, fine-tooth comb, and say, okay, here goes 20. Here goes 20. That was put over here. Here goes 5. That was put over here. Here goes another 5. That was put over here. There's your 30 grand, right? But if it's like, oh, well, it's 30 grand, they're like, well, okay, 20 was over here, 5 was over here, but that 5's missing. Somebody, they got to find a way to account for that. And that's what they do. They find a way. They search for what's missing. They search for that negative balance. And they have to now make an account for that. And they say, okay, let me search the records, right? I need all your records good dating back. Oh, you know what? There was an accounting error 4 years ago. So actually that 5 grand was mixed up in this new batch of paperwork. So that's accounted for. It's back there. So really it was 25,000, yada, 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 right? But that's how we got to do ourselves. We got to be like little accountants on our spirit. Making check mark. Oh, boom, got it. Oh, fruit, oh, joy, peace, love. Oh, damn. Man, I got anger. Jeez. All right, well, I got to work on that. Oh, pride. Dang, hey, ooh. Neglect, hatred. Ugh. Okay. Well, I got joy, peace, love. I got charity, right? But because I have these 4 attributes good, do I just neglect the 4 attributes bad? And just act like, well, these are going to overshadow this? See, a lot of us think like that. Like, oh, the Bible says hope for the good. No, the Bible says change. The Bible says change. Yes, hope for the good, but change. Right? Be doers of the word. You can't just hope and act like, oh, all of a sudden, like the negative is just going to leak out of you through osmosis. Like it's going to leak into the chairs that you guys sit in and stay in the chair. But you got to put in work, right?
God.
Right? So we got to stop being like little children, naive and lacking understanding and understanding, okay, that means we got to put in work. An accountant, what do you got to do? Damn, well, there's money missing. Break out the calculators. And he got his calculator, he got his highlighter, and he's putting in long hours, right? Trying to find that missing money, trying to account and make everything right. Squaring away the books. You see that? We got to square away our spirits. A lot of us got loose ends that you got to taper that up. Go to 1 Samuel 15 and verse 2.
You know in the scriptures, like how Quadazar was bringing out, taking spiritual accountability. You know, when you go to Revelations, and the angel's like, yeah, who is these you see before you? And he's like, yeah, I don't know, you know. And he's like, yeah, these are they that took accountability. No, he didn't say accountability. He says these are they.
But it could have.
It could have. Mm-hmm. These are they that washed their robes.
Yep.
They washed their robes. They took accountability, saying, dang, I do got a stain right here. Let me take care of that.
Yep.
Let me take care of this.
Good point.
Let me not, oh man, you got stain. Look, you got blemishes. And look, man, I'm dirty. I'm dirty just because I'm next to you.
Or when the time came, it's like, how come your garments are still dirty? Oh, well, they was all using the washing machines.
Oh yeah, I didn't have
I
time.
had no time. Right? All the washing machines was used up.
I had to work so much.
Oh, I didn't see it. That's what kids do. My son will come home with like 1,000 stains on his shirt. I'm like, bro, how'd you get that? He got scars on his body. This dude had a bruise on his knee today. I'm looking at him doing his homework with him. He had a bruise on his knee. I said, yo, what happened? He was like, honestly, Dad, I just don't know. Like, you don't know what, like, you can't take account for what's going on with your own body.
God.
But foolishness is bound in the heart of a child. But some of us be moving like children.
God.
Not taking account for just your own self, like what's on you,
Mm-hmm.
what's in you, right? So it's a perfect point that he's bringing out. Those people, it could interchange. It said they're the ones that took accountability.
God.
What it said was they overcame and they washed their garment. But they took accountability for themselves. So to do that, they had to examine. Where is the stain? Where is the dirt? What needs to be cleaned up? Because who's going to wash clean clothes? Anybody? You just take clean clothes and throw them in the washer, waste water? No. Waste time? No. It's for dirty stuff. But you got to look and say, oh yeah, that's dirty. Or it's been used. Let's get it cleaned up. Right? So go to 1 Samuel.
1 Samuel chapter 15, verse 2.
And all those robes represent are your spirit. That's it. Your spirit being cleaned up. Read that. 1 Samuel 15 and 2.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts.
Right?
I remember that which Amalek,
The Amalekites. Amalek, right.
did to Israel, how he laid wait for him in the way when he came up from Egypt.
Right?
Now go and smite Amalek and utterly destroy all that they have and spare them not.
Right. So this was the Most High giving Samuel instructions to give to Saul. Saul was anointed king. A year or two later, the Most High is like, okay, here's time for me to get my vengeance on the Amalekites for what they did to y'all. So Samuel, go tell Saul, go to Amalek and wipe them out. Man, woman, child, king, beast, everything. Right? Wipe it all out. Did you read verse 3?
He was in the middle.
Oh, go ahead.
But slay both man and woman, infant and suckling, ox and sheep, camel and ass.
So basically, if it's in that city and it's breathing, it dies. That's basically what it is, right? Jump down to verse 7.
Verse 7. And Saul smote the Amalekites from Havilah until thou comest to Shur, that is over against Egypt.
Right?
And he took Agag the king of the Amalekites alive. And
He did what?
Took Agag the king of the Amalekites alive.
So he did go. He did show up. Right? He showed up. Yay! But it said he took Agag alive. Now we know from the verse 3 that nothing was supposed to be alive from that city. Go ahead, read on.
And utterly destroyed all the people with the edge of the sword.
Go ahead.
But Saul and the people spared Agag and the best of the sheep.
So not only did they spare the king, they spared what they thought were the best of the sheep. Go ahead.
And of the oxen. And of the fatlings. And the lambs. And all that was good.
Right.
And would not utterly destroy them, but everything that was vile and refused that they destroyed utterly.
Right. So obviously Saul being king, the leader of the people, so is his officers. They go in, don't follow the orders completely. They save the king. They save a few animals that they thought were nice and fat. Oh, the Most High is going to like this. Oh, he going to like the king. But it was based off of what? It was based off of their own lust, right? Off of what they wanted. Right? So you're going to jump down to verse 13.
Verse 13. And Samuel came to Saul, and Saul said unto him, Blessed be thou of the Lord.
Right?
And I have performed the commandment of the Lord.
Yeah, because every man is going to be first in his cause. Right? Every man, look, Samuel, I did it.
Blessed be the Lord.
Blessed be the Lord, right? Blessed be the fruit. I did it. I did it, Samuel. I went, man, we put them cats, we let them cats have it. Man, you see, man, look, I caught one with the sword. I was chopping him up. You start bragging about the fact that he did something good, which was what? That he showed up. I did the commandment, man. Look, I fulfilled it. Oh, yeah? Well, every man is first and just in his own cause, but his neighbor come and searcheth them out. So what does Samuel say? Oh, Barakatah Yahweh Shem Yahushai, you did it, my son. Read.
And Samuel said, What meaneth then this bleating of the sheep in my ears?
Right.
And the lowing of the oxen which I hear.
Yeah, so wait a minute. If you did the commandments, why do I hear sheep and ox? What's going on here?
Did y'all leave with sheep and ox?
Yeah,
You
like,
just brought the same ones back?
like, what's happening? How come I hear animals and sheep? Wait, is that y'all brought a dude back? Wait, hold up. So this was you performing the commandment because you did one part good? See, we're going to see here. All Saul wanted to deal with was what he did right. And he barely even did that right. He barely showed up the right way. But that's all he wanted to deal with. That's all he wanted to fixate his mind on was, wait a minute, but I showed up. But wait a minute, you're supposed to show up and wipe everything out. So what did he not want to deal with? Come on, what's going on here?
What he didn't do.
Which what he didn't do, but what, okay, let's backtrack. We know what he didn't do, but what prevented him from doing? What was it? What was in his spirit at the time? What was he dealing with? Come on, y'all know. Give me one attribute that he was dealing with. What?
Rebellion?
Bam, because that's what that scripture goes into anyway. He didn't want to deal with his rebellion. He didn't want to deal with his halfway following instructions, his haphazard way of following, his rebellion. He didn't want to deal with his covetousness. He didn't want to deal with his pride. He didn't want to deal that he didn't want to deal with the fact that he was in his lust. He didn't want to deal with the fact that he wasn't the Most High himself. Meaning what? He was thinking when you read down the story, he's like, yeah, well, I got the sheep because we thought the Most High might want that. Wait a minute, the Most High told you what he wanted. That's why he said, my thoughts are not your thoughts and my ways are not your ways. You get caught up in thinking that, like, wait, I'm going to do against what is laid down, not take accountability because, you know, I'm looking at the bigger picture, Ak. How can you look at the bigger picture when you could barely see the little 5x10 in front of your face? The little 5x10 of problems right in front of your face. You try to look at the whole big family size portrait, but you got the little 3x2 right in front of your face and you could barely make anything out. This ain't about a bigger picture and a smaller picture. It's about owning up. Well, first and foremost, if you did things right the first place, you wouldn't have to separate your accountability between good and bad and what I did do and what I decided not to do, or what I did do and what I decided to rebel against. You see what I'm saying? You would just be accountable. You would say, yeah, I went and, you know, we did the job. We got it done, all the way done. Cool. All right, moving on. Right? Ain't it as simple as that? We did it. Oh, okay, that's what's up. Moving on.
Okay.
Nobody's gonna listen. Doesn't it say? What does it say? He beareth not the sword in vain. He's not a terror to good works. That's in Hebrews, right? Yeah, I think he said he beareth not the sword in vain. But what master is a terror to good works? Oh, you did good. Nobody, right?
God.
When does the chastisement and the check come?
When you do wrong.
When you do wrong. He said when you do wrong, sin lieth at the door. Don't it say that in Genesis?
God.
When you do good, you'll be rewarded for your good. But when you do wrong, it says sin lieth at the door. So we got to understand, wait a minute. Again, what's my part? What's my part in these situations that I'm commanded to, when I'm commanded to go and execute a certain job, when I'm commanded to teach my rib, when I'm commanded to raise my family, when I'm commanded to study, not commanded by me. The Bible tells you to teach your wife. The Bible tells you to raise your children. The Bible says to study. It ain't me.
God.
The Bible says to be faithful. The Bible says all these different things. When you're commanded and you can't live up to what's commanded or what you're charged with or what you're accountable for, then we got to go and say, okay, well, let's figure out why. But if you automatically say, oh, no, see, I did everything. No, I did it. How can anything be fixed? If you already in your mind said, I did everything. If you're like Saul, who in his mind, knowing damn well, but in his mind is fixed. See, that's the problem with pride. his eyes and mind was blinded off what was really going on, and he really thought and was convinced that he did what he was supposed to do.
Can I bring something out on
Yeah.
that? So, and this happens frequently in a two-person or
it's
an
wrong.
event of something that happens. When there's more than one side of the story, there's half-truths. And I looked up this definition of a half-truth. So a half-truth is a deceptive statement that includes some elements of truth. The statement might be partially true. The statement may be totally true, but only part of the whole truth. Only part of the whole truth. So you didn't give the whole spectrum of what's going on. Okay? Or it may cause some deceptive element, such as improper punctuation or double meaning. Like you say it one way, and in your mind, you know how you meant it. But the way it sounds like something else.
And then when you're checked on it, it's like, oh no, I didn't mean it like that.
Because you can jump back.
Yep.
It's a double meaning. You can jump back either way. Okay, especially if the intent is to deceive, evade blame, not take responsibility. Or next one says blame, or misrepresent the truth. And that's exactly how Saul came. He was like, look, I did everything the Lord said. Bam. Well, what I meant was everybody that was in front of me, I killed. But as far as the men with me, I mean, that's
on them. It was them.
Oh, we didn't even get there yet, huh?
No, we didn't get there. Watch. Let's get back. Where'd you leave off at?
Going to verse 16.
Go ahead, read.
Verse 16. Then Samuel said unto Saul, Stay, and I will tell thee what the Lord has said to me this night. And he said unto him, Say on. And Samuel said, When thou wast little in thine own sight, wast thou not made the head of the tribes of Israel? And the Lord anointed thee king over Israel. And the Lord sent thee on a journey and said, Go and utterly destroy the sinners, the Amalekites, and fight against them until they be consumed. Wherefore?
So now Samuel got to go back and articulate the instructions in a more detailed manner. Go ahead.
Wherefore? Then didst thou not obey the voice of the Lord, but didst fly upon the spoil, and didst evil in the sight of the Lord?
So now he's like, bro, you got covetous. You got covetous. You got lustful. Go ahead.
And Saul said unto Samuel, Yea, I have obeyed the voice of the Lord, and have gone the way which the Lord sent me.
See, I went. I did good. I went. Every man will be first in his own cause. Every man will proclaim his own good. But a faithful man, who can find? Read on.
And have brought Agag the king of Amalek, and have utterly destroyed the Amalekites. But the people.
But the what?
But the people.
But the who?
People.
Go ahead.
Took of the spoil, sheep and oxen, the chief of the things which should have been utterly destroyed, to sacrifice unto the Lord thy God in Gilgal. And Samuel said, Hath the Lord as great delight in...
Right, so you see that, right? He's like, yeah, I did everything. I went. We wiped out all the people. All I did was take the king.
He already told him himself right there.
Yeah, it's like, bruh, how delusional are you? How delusional was he? But see, that's the problem with not taking accountability. Once you don't take accountability in one instance, when it comes to the next instance, your growth is automatically stunted. What growth? Well, your ability to be humble, your ability to take orders and execute the orders, your ability to see things, the foresight of evil, to watch yourself from harm, to not, like the scriptures say, let not the reverence of any man cause you to fall.
Yeah.
Come on, bro. He's looking at the men. He's supposed to be the king. But I get it. I get it. When you got some killers around you, you ain't gonna, it don't matter you king or not. When they want to turn on you, because if they're just like you, then guess what? When they turn, it's just gonna be you. When their lust and their covetousness reaches a height far above Saul's, what can Saul do against those men? Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
But the point was, Saul, when you go back into his inception, he was already lacking accountability in certain things. He was already very skeptical, and instead of attacking the lack, he just tried to push it to the side like, oh yeah, I'm big and tall. I'm big, tall, and handsome. My handsomeness is going to get me by. My tallness, my height, my stature is going to get me by. Oh, I got all this stuff now. So I get to hide my negatives in why do you think people, man, are like, they got this consumption demon on them? Because they get to drown their negatives and their sorrows in consuming. They call it shop therapy. That's the name of it, shop therapy. But all you're doing is drowning your sorrows and your pains and your negatives and the things that you fall short in with frivolous carnal things. You're not fixing anything. That's the problem. Nothing here is getting fixed. Saul didn't fix anything. Adam didn't fix anything. All he did was just get punished. The next thing after Adam was a punishment. The next thing after Saul, it was a punishment. Let's go to the next instance. Go to Exodus 32 and 21. Exodus 32 and verse 21. What happened?
Huh.
You trying to come in? Go ahead.
Exodus chapter 32, verse 21.
Yeah, can I come in real quick? It's this one. I'm too late for the keyword is this.
Okay, wait. Well, we can go here. And then you can,
Yeah.
yeah. Go to Exodus 32 and verse 21. Let's deal with our dear brother Aaron.
Exodus chapter 32, verse 21.
Go ahead.
And Moses said unto Aaron, what did this people unto thee, that thou hast brought so great a sin upon them?
Right, because what happens? Backstory. Moses goes up to Sinai for the 40 days, the 40 nights to get the commandments, the 10 commandments, and the other 600 plus, right? Plus the knowledge of the beginning, middle, and end of the world. Sat with Christ, the angels, got all that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. And what's Aaron down there doing? Aaron's left in charge of the people being high priest. And what happens? Well, let's read on.
Verse 22.
What sin is he talking about? Read.
And Aaron said, let not the anger of my Lord wax hot.
Right?
Thou knowest the people that they are set on mischief.
Right. Oh, wait. So, but Aaron, what did you do in bringing this sin on the people? Well, man, you know the people, man. You know how these cats get. You know how these cats are. These cats is wicked. Damn, how come your rib is going crazy? Man, she's psycho. You know how these women are. You know how these women get. Wait, but so it's just you're gonna blame it on her psycho? You're not gonna take a step back and say, yeah, my teaching level ain't there to get her to where I need to get her yet.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my bad. I'm trying to work on that. Or I haven't been studying, and man, I just ain't got the words to deal with her. I ain't going front. I just ain't got the scriptures. I ain't got the wordplay. I don't have the way to connect the dots from one thought to another to be able to bring her from one thought to the next thought and take her out of the woods. I don't know how to grab her by the hand and lead her out the woods. You know what I'm saying? Salak, I'm sorry. I got to work on that. Oh, no, she's just crazy. You know these women, you know Eve, Eve. You know Eve, they just wicked. Now, what if I said, well, man, how come they ain't getting it? Oh, well, because you know Jake. Right?
Yeah.
What if I took that same approach? You know niggas, they just, bruh, like, right? And didn't take a step back and look at me, myself, and say, you know what? Maybe there's something that I'm not doing. Maybe there's something that I need to add. Maybe there's something that they're seeing from me or not seeing from me, the leaders, right? The heads.
Yeah.
What if I just automatically, when y'all are going through what y'all are dealing with, and then you make a phone call, and it's like, well, hey, that's on you. You know how y'all are. It's easy to do that. It's easy to be like, well, because it's you. It's easy. It's easy to do that and not sit back and examine. But what we're understanding is that, and we haven't really understood much yet, we're just going through these stories, but what we're going to understand is that there has to be this different approach taken. This whole puffing yourself up as the damn mighty man in the house when you're not ain't working. The mighty woman, the one that got it all together, we gotta be real. Right? Go ahead, read on.
Verse 23. For they said unto me, make a God,
Right?
which shall go before us.
Right. Okay, so the people had their part. Make us gods, Aaron. But Aaron, you a grown ass man. You the high priest, baby. Right? You mean to tell me that your voice don't matter? Go ahead.
For this Moses, the man that brought us up out of the land of Egypt,
Right, go ahead.
we wot not what is become of him.
Right, we don't know what's up with Moses, so Aaron is giving his account. They said, make us a god, because we don't know what happened. We don't know. They don't know what happened to you. Well, being the high priest, shouldn't you have said, wait a minute, hold up. The Most High is your God. It don't matter what happens to Moses. The Most High got us. Shouldn't he have stayed the people, stayed the plague?
Yeah.
But see, what was wrong with Aaron? He might have not had the words. He might have not known what to say.
True.
Right? He might have got stumped or he might have felt pressured or whatever it was. See, it's not about the thing that happened. It's about why you're not acknowledging what happened for real. Right? He might have felt pressured. It's one man against millions. Right?
Yeah.
Damn. I get it. He might have felt like, man, I ain't got no backup. Moses is up there, man, to do the left beat, and these cats is coming at me. Right?
Yeah.
And he might have crumbled under the pressure, but okay. Why not just say that? Why lie and act like, oh, well, it was them? Nah, nigga, it was you. You crumbled. You gave in. You got weak to their words. You let them overtake you somehow. It's okay, though, right? Ain't it okay? It's okay to not always be strong or fall. It's okay to not always have the words, right? It's okay. Because what does this show? That you're just a human, you're just a man, you're just a woman, right? It shows that what the Bible says, a just man is going to fall 7 times.
And that we can't have all things in us.
And we're not going to have,
Yes.
right. We're not going to have all things in us. A just man falls 7 times. All these different things that they got to be applied to. Situations are going to come up to show you that no, the Bible is real. The word is true. So it's okay. Right? It's okay. Not saying that it was okay that Aaron made a golden calf. I want y'all to be, I want to be real careful with what I'm saying, and I want you to really carefully understand me. It's okay to make mistakes is what I'm saying. It's okay to have a mistake on your resume. It's okay to not know. Don't y'all get it? It's okay to not know. It's not okay to not acknowledge that you don't know. Because then you're going to have people thinking that you know. And you're going to constantly be put in situations that, oh, he should know that. Let him do it. Oh, she should know that. Let her do it. Right? Somebody's going to hand you accountability. Don't you see that? Oh, well, yeah, man. They've been around 8 years. He should know how to teach Israel. Go teach her. She started acting up. Who they coming at? Well, how come you ain't teaching her? What's going on? Well, but I have been. Really? Okay, cool. Well, keep doing it. Another situation. But what's going on? Okay, wait a minute. Let's. What have you been doing? Let's go through it. Oh, so you really didn't know what you was doing. Why didn't you just say you didn't know what you was doing? And we wouldn't keep entrusting you and going down this long path of mistakes. This long path of heartache. Accountability is key because it gives you the ability to fix things in the moment. Not wait 20 years, 10 years, 15 years, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months to where that is some detrimental mistake that you can't come back from. It was important for Aaron to own up. Why? As we go down the line with Aaron, what happens with his sons? He didn't want to own up, right? And be searched out. So now his sons get into this moment where, time to be accountable. And what happened? They didn't even get a chance to own up. They just burned.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yep.
Aaron couldn't come back and get his sons back. Mosiah said, don't even mourn for them. Because he didn't want to be accountable in that moment. That went all the way down to his sons, man. Adam didn't want to be accountable in the moment, so it went all the way down to us.
Dang.
Saul didn't want to be accountable in the moment. Well, since Adam didn't be accountable, Saul had to do with something. And then now, you see how it just bunny hops? But if Adam would have took accountability first off top, yeah, I messed up. Okay, well, let's fix the mess up. Where did we go wrong? I guarantee you the punishment wouldn't have been so harsh.
We suffering because of that.
That's the point. Saul suffered because of Adam and Aaron. So Aaron suffered because of Adam. Saul suffered because of Aaron. And Aaron's sons immediately after. Let's read the story. Where else did they get how to worship idols or burn some strange fire? And where did they learn that from? But see, if we take accountability, now we can search out and say, well, Aaron, where'd you learn that from? Where'd you see that? And who was you with?
You put a spotlight on that spirit.
Right, or who was with you? Oh, so when you picked that up, the babies was with you? Damn, no, we got to go deal with the babies, right? We got to go peel into their brains and see what they picked up. That way now when they get put in the situation, they're not making the same mistake you did. But, watch, read on. Look how dumb his excuse is.
Verse 24. And I said unto them,
Right?
whosoever has any gold,
Right?
let them break it off.
Go ahead.
So they gave it to me. They gave it me.
Uh-huh.
Then I cast it into the fire.
Yeah, all I did was just take their gold and throw it into the fire, and what happened?
And there came out this calf.
And all of a sudden, like, boom! It's like the Kool-Aid man busting through a wall. Like, bro, what? So that's all you did?
Oh, yeah.
In the fire? Okay.
You just took the gold, threw it in the fire, and all of a sudden the cow just, yeah, like a whole bull walked out
Oh yeah.
with nostrils and nose holes and eye holes. Just the fire just made that.
I'm sure he put the ring around the bull, too.
All of that. He put the damn star in the head and everything. But see, when you go into the detail of the story, it says that Aaron literally took an engraver's tool. It was engraving. He fashioned it. Ain't no gold. You ain't gonna throw no gold in the fire and all of a sudden the whole calf comes out. It's insane. But see, these are the lies that brothers and sisters tell themselves. I just said shalom to her and then she just went off. What? Wait, so
That's how, yeah.
what happened? I don't know. Boy Scouts swear. Right? Right. No, I ain't gonna do it a lot.
Oh, sorry. My bad.
They're gonna do a snapshot and say you worship in Baphomet.
Oh yeah.
Or the little tranny goat.
God.
Right? Pinky promise. Brothers be pinky promising.
Damn.
You know how they I don't know.
Huh.
I
Wait a
don't know.
minute.
women. Yeah, like, huh? No, huh? Brothers, huh? Men, huh? People. Everyone has a part to play. But if we can figure out, okay, what was your part? Really, what was your part? Then we can say, oh, okay, well, next time, now let's go deal with her. Next time, sis, you don't got to react to that because he's not going to do that no more, and you got to hold your order, and then we can mesh out both sides to bring it back together to move forward. But if you acting like, oh, you just threw some gold in a fire and a damn idol popped out, and that's how the idol got there, that's how the spirit got in your house, then you guess what? Good luck. Good luck. You cursing your generation, you cursing your family, man.
Ooh,
Yeah, what?
can I get two real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we go to Genesis chapter 43, verse 8? Genesis chapter 43, verse 8. So, just on that point of, cursing like the generations to come. So this right here was a curse that was actually kind of stopped, right? So this was right after. These are two different situations, but I'm just going to hit this one situation where Judah had offered up himself and I think his kids to Joseph, right? But when you go back to that story, you'll see that Judah is the one that was like, let's sell him. Let's go ahead and sell Joseph into the Arabs into slavery, right? So read this Genesis 43 and 8.
Genesis chapter 43 and verse 8.
Go ahead.
And Judah said unto Israel, his father, send the lad with me, and we will arise and go, that we may live and not die, both we and thou, and also our little ones. I will be surety for him.
I'll be what?
Surety for him.
Surety is another form of. He's just taking responsibility. He's taking accountability. So
Yeah, I'll be the pledge, I'll be the bet, I'll be the collateral.
So when you go back to it, think about it. The brothers, they had messed up when they sold Joseph, but they didn't want to take accountability for their mess up when they sold Joseph, and then
Oh, this is when they were going back into Egypt, and he was saying, I'm going to take Benjamin.
yeah.
Right.
So that they messed up. They went to their father. They didn't tell their father, hey, we sold him. He was hating on him. We sold him. Right.
So now he don't want them to go nowhere. Now he don't want Benjamin to go nowhere with them.
Exactly. So they didn't take accountability the first time. So now now they're back with Joseph, right?
Yep.
And Judah's taking all the accountability this time. Like, look, if Benjamin don't come back, Judah's acknowledging, like, damn, I already messed up with Joseph. So Judah's like, if Benjamin don't come back, it's all on me. But why is he taking that big step? Well, because he's the one that had suggested, hey, let's sell Joseph into slavery. You see what I'm saying? So he ain't take accountability the first time, but now the opportunity came back, and he's trying to take as much accountability as he can.
He's overcompensating for the wrong. Where you ain't got to do that.
Yeah.
Just be honest. Don't
yeah.
overcompensate.
Especially if he was from the beginning.
Because if something did happen to Benjamin, he would have died.
Yeah.
Basically, that's what he was saying. Like, I'll be the pledge, my life for his life. If something happened to him, then you could take my life. That's basically what he was putting himself on. But see, that lack of accountability now brings what? Guilt.
Yep.
Guilt down the line. If you're around long enough to deal with other situations. Right. I like it. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I wanted to touch on this one, on that story, and then we can go here. Go to
kind of, yeah.
Let's go here real quick. Go to Ezekiel.
You're not moving on. What are you about to do? Okay, go ahead.
Kind of like on the same thing.
Yeah.
And we can go to Ezekiel real quick. Ezekiel 33 and verse 10.
Book of Ezekiel, chapter 33 and verse 10.
Therefore,
O thou son of man, speak unto the house of Israel. Thus ye speak, saying, if our transgressions and our sins be upon us, and we pine away in them.
And we do what?
Pine away in them.
The key word there is pine. Now, I always used to mention this word pine back before I knew the truth, and we used to smoke. Not we, but I used to smoke with my friends and stuff. We used to always say, "Hey man, you want to go pine?" Did y'all ever use that? That term? No? Nobody ever used, damn. We always used to use that term like, hey man, you want to go pine? You want to go pine? And all that meant was, did you want to go smoke, right? So when you look up the word pine,
To languish.
it means to languish,
To waste away.
to waste away,
With longing for something.
with longing for sustenance. It says to wear away under any distress or anxiety of mind, right?
Misery.
So what it's showing you is if our transgressions and our sins be upon us and we just pine away in them, so how would you pine away if you got things going on? Well, you pine away by simply not acknowledging them. That's why we used to think, oh yeah, we just gonna pine, we just gonna smoke away our problems. We just gonna drink away our problems. We're not gonna actually acknowledge that we have a problem and come up with the game plans to take accountability for what it is that we deal with and go through it the right way with the right method. We would rather just pine away in them and act like it ain't a big deal, it's a light thing, this ain't I'll just smoke it away, like smoking away is gonna fit something, right? So it says if we pine away in them, go ahead.
How should we then live?
How we gonna live if we just pine away in them? That's what Adam did. He pined it away. He just wasted away in it instead of just hitting the problem head on. Aaron did the same thing. All these different examples that we've been hitting in class, they pined away in their problems, their transgressions and their sins and their little slip-ups. They pined away in them instead of acknowledging them and now attacking them.
Con. So, just piggybacking off of you, can I get one? Ecclesiasticus chapter 23 and verse 11.
Excuse me.
The book of Ecclesiasticus, chapter 23 and verse 11.
Go ahead.
A man that uses much swearing shall be filled with iniquity,
Read.
and the plague shall never depart from his house.
Go ahead.
If ye shall offend, his sin shall be upon him.
Okay, so you may offend. So we're getting to the part of the offend. You're not owning up to what you did. Go ahead.
And if he acknowledge not his sin, he maketh a double offense.
So if he don't acknowledge that he's been in the wrong, it's a double offense. And like everything like Quasi was bringing out, how things trickle down the generations. Think about it. You don't even have to think that far down. Think about it locally, in your own four walls. This is what happens. Read on.
And if he swear in vain,
Go ahead.
he shall not be innocent.
Read.
But his house shall be full of calamities.
What will be full of calamities?
His house shall be full of calamities.
Why? Because he didn't take responsibility. He didn't hold himself accountable for his mistakes. So now his whole house is full of calamities.
I got a question. What's another word for calamities? Or another saying for calamity? When you think about calamities, what do you think about? Like, let's just deal with a person's household. And it's like, man, this house got a lot of calamities going on. What do you think about? What's the first things that come to your mind? What, Mike?
A lot of like tension.
Okay, tension. What else? It's on point. Tension. What?
Bad luck.
Bad luck? What do you mean by bad luck?
Like, shit. Just incident after incident.
Right. Okay.
Just a lot of incidents.
So a lot of different things popping up. What else? It's a word. It's a word. It's a one-word word. Yeah, it's a word that pops in my head. And it's crazy that they went to their two scriptures because it just goes right into the class. But think about calamity. When calamity hits, what does that throw off in a household? Like, especially if you don't know how to deal with calamity, what happens? What's no longer there? Not love. What?
Peace.
Okay, yeah, right. So we get in there, peace. So what? What?
Structure.
Are you close? Structure. What?
Security.
You're close. You guys are saying the S words. There's one more S word. Right?
Stability.
This guy gets a prize.
But think about it. The house becomes unstable.
Wow.
Right? And that's what happens when you move accountability to the back burner, is now stability becomes an issue in the household. Now, what is stability predicated on? Man and woman, what is stability predicated on? What?
Order.
Okay, you're close, right? So, okay, what about the order though? What about order that is going to bring stability?
Obedience.
Okay, what about obedience though? What about it? Like, what about obedience is going to keep us stable? What?
Discipline.
Okay, you know, you're naming, so you're giving me words,
yeah,
right?
okay.
You're giving me words, but, and you're right. You're
Yeah.
right, but disciplined in what? Disciplined to what? Think about it. You got a man, you got a woman. He said it, order, discipline, right? But discipline in what? Order in what?
What's the action behind the discipline? What's the action of the discipline?
Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna read this definition to you of stability. Right? Now I'm gonna just jump to the point. Steadiness or firmness of character. Okay? Firmness of resolution. Now think about it. If we're not acknowledging, I think I said it earlier, if we're not acknowledging the things that need to be fixed, there's zero resolution. So what's gonna happen? You're gonna have a problem, then another problem is gonna pile on because we didn't know how to resolve this problem. We didn't look at the things that caused the problem. Saul, just think about Adam. Before Eve did what she did and Adam did what they had, didn't they have stability? Yeah, they had a stable kingdom. Before Saul did what he did, wasn't he stable? His actions brought on instability. Now you're no longer going to have the kingdom.
Damn.
Right?
God.
Aaron. What happened with Aaron? Well, now things start to get moved around to these different families. He has no more sons. Right? He had what? Three sons. Did Aaron have, what was it? 2 of his sons died.
2 of them died.
Yeah.
I think he had maybe like a total of 5. I could be wrong. I'll double check real quick.
Yeah, double check that. Double check that. But I think that Aaron had 3 sons, 2 died. But then now you start having, think about it, where's the priesthood gonna go? Right? It was supposed to go to his sons. Ithamar and Eleazar. He had 3. Yeah, Eleazar, Ithamar, and who else? Nadab, right. So Eleazar and Ithamar is the ones that died, right?
Nadab and Ithamar, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah, Nadab and
So now think about it. Doesn't that cause an instability when you have less people to hand down things to? It just now goes to this one man. But you had 3 that it could have went to.
He had 4.
Okay.
Nadab, Abihu, Eleazar,
right,
and Ithamar.
Right. So
Nadab and Abihu perished.
Right.
Yeah.
You see that? But that's still an instability now.
Yeah.
So this lack of accountability is going to bring forth instability in your household, but not just in one house, but now it trickles. There's a trickle effect, right? So you forego the stability. Why? Because if I'm not accountable for my actions as a man, I'm not gonna. If I'm not, think about it. What is the job of a man? Biblically, just give me like an attribute. So one thing a man's supposed to do for his household. What?
Teach his house.
Teach his house. What's a woman's job? One thing. Oh, wait, what? Oh, okay, a woman, there's a woman here, right? She's supposed to follow her man, right? Follow her husband, be a subject to her husband. But if there's lack of accountability and I'm not following, well, what am I doing? I'm no longer operating as a woman, right? If I'm not teaching and guiding spiritually, that means I'm not operating as a man. So if our roles are not defined, how can we move forward as a family? Yeah, it's unstable. It's unstable because now, well, I ain't gotta be a man no more. And if you ain't gotta be a man, and I ain't gotta be a woman, let's go back to it. Adam and Eve. Eve is the one that came to Adam. It should have been the other way around if you even look at that, right?
Yeah.
But there was an instability there. So she's bringing things to him, and him not standing up and saying, you know what? Lie, sis. Get your Bible. Right? Him not shutting her down as a man should have. He created an instability. Not just in his house, but now he created it for his generations. So it wasn't death per se, but it was an instability that brings on death. Right? Remember the definition. Firmness of resolution or purpose. What is so now, okay, forget about a man's role. What's a man's purpose? What's a woman's purpose? And if I'm not fulfilling my purpose, well, what's happening? There's all types of instabilities. I'm depressed, I got anxiety, I'm upset, I'm this, I'm that, right? Because my purpose is not being fulfilled. But if the purpose is if we're in a relationship, then there's a purpose even in that relationship. If I'm in a body, I have a purpose in the body.
Yeah.
You go to work, you got a purpose. If you don't fulfill your purpose, then guess what? Your job is not stable.
Okay.
They looking at you like, wait, hold up. All these cars is piling up. Hold up. All these oils is backing up. Right? Wait, what's going on here? All these phone calls is backing up. What's happening? Ooh, your job is now in question. Your position is now in question.
Yeah.
Right? So we got to understand what instability does for the individual, but also for the unit, the family. Because if the husband is unstable, the wife is definitely going to be unstable. And guess who gets to follow the instability?
Kids.
Good old little Mijo and Mija. Right? Little Pito and Pita. Right? Little Pepe. Little Pepe. Right? Gets to follow. You said what?
Pancho.
Little Pancho, right? Little Panchita, right? They get the. You can't add a cha on everything and act like it's Spanish. I just did that. You know what I'm saying? You had an O on everything and it's Spanish all of a sudden. That was my terrible Spanish. It was very, very mean of me, right? So instability. You know, think about it. The forward momentum. I said it earlier. The forward momentum stops. The growth, the physical growth, the spiritual growth. It all stops, and then you get to see all the different little problems in your rib, in yourself, in your unit, in your structure, in your children. These things start to, them demons, man. They start to try to rip. They try to rip the person that they're attached to, and they're lashing out. All these different things are happening. That's why the children have behavior problems. That's why the husbands have anger issues, because they're not stable in their anger. You don't even know how to sit back and let your woman just talk to you without you getting riled up. Like, why is she even speaking to me? Because she needs to. Because you got to understand her. You, as a woman, can't even let your husband give you constructive criticism or teaching moments. Why? Because you feel like it's your way. All these things are unstable. That's a woman that can't be taught is an unstable woman. Prove me wrong. Prove me wrong, and I'll show you her kids. Prove me wrong, and we can go walk right outside right now and go to Walmart and look at all them little kids, them grown ass kids running around, and be like, oh, so your mama, she was the one that didn't need no man, right? But now you gay, right? Show me a man that doesn't stand up and take charge in his household, and I'll show you a dude that's just getting ran over. I'll show you a man that's there in body, but he ain't got no voice. So it's back to the same result anyway.
Yeah.
You see that? A man that doesn't hold himself diligently in the fear of the Lord, what's going to happen? He says his house will be overthrown. There's not a leg for it to stand on. You see that? So let's go here real quick. We got 30 minutes. So I want you to go to Ephesians 4. We go here all the time, right? Common scripture. But think about it. What is it that makes the relationship? What is it that makes a person stable? Well, when they're doing their purpose, when they're walking with a purpose. Think about it. When when you propose to do something and you walking towards it, don't you got your chest out? Don't you feel good about yourself? Can somebody waver? Can anything get in your way to stop you from achieving? No, right? But see, this is how you got to walk in all purposes in the Spirit. Read Ephesians 4.
Ephesians chapter 4,
Right?
verse 1.
Right?
I therefore, the prisoner of the Lord,
Right?
beseech you that ye walk worthy of the vocation.
But see, a lot of us don't even know what our vocation is. You forgot what you were called for. You forgot you weren't called to be old girl down the block, and you weren't called to still be the same male that you were in the world. I'm not saying man, I'm saying male. Because that's all we were in the world, were males. All you were in the world was a female. Because you had the parts. That's it. Because you had the reproductive parts, but you didn't have a woman's mind, a Proverbs 31 woman. You didn't have a man's mind that I could commend him according to his wisdom, biblical. You might have had some ways, you might have had some little skills here and there. You can hang a picture. You know what I'm saying? You can cut some lawn. Okay. Little boys go cut lawns for money, man. That's not a skill. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's not a skill. Cooking and cleaning, that's not a skill. That's supposed to be embedded in your DNA. You got to eat. If eating is in your DNA, cooking and cleaning is in your damn DNA too. Stop. That's not like an attribute. I'm tired of that. Well, I cook for him and clean. So the hell what? I bet you the chicks on Bissonnette know how to cook and clean.
You know where the mind has to be at is right now. What a lot of men are saying is they're saying, "What can a woman bring to me that I don't have to pay for?" Because you could pay for a maid,
Or do himself.
you could pay for food, you could pay to go lay with somebody. You can pay for a lot of different services. So, but you know what you can't pay for? Is a mind that's well instructed.
A continent mind. And you know what you can't pay for? Because you got these ding-dong women like, oh yeah, see, I got me a man. No, you got a dummy that got money. He ain't a man because he's not guiding you. So it's messed up on both ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
I got me a man. Well, why? Because, he buys everything. Oh, okay. So he buys everything. So he appeases you. He shuts down his way of not taking accountability is to buy you everything. So you don't see the things that that he's supposed to bring to the table that he doesn't. Like guidance, like counsel. Like not just a stability and money, but a man is supposed to provide a stability, a level of calm to his household where when he's not there, the house should feel a certain type of way. They should be a little nervous. Like, damn, the strong man ain't home. But we know we're going to be good. There should be that level of comfort when a man is in the house and he's there. Then there should be a little bit of an uneasiness when he's not. Everybody in that mug should be uneasy, like, wait a minute. Wait, hold on. He ain't there. The covering ain't there, but he's still there. Right? There should be an operation of a house when a man ain't there that it still operates as if he was there. But that's how you know a man that got his house in control. Y'all see this?
Okay.
Where you at?
Last precept.
Read it.
Wherewith ye are called.
Right. But what if I don't know how to accomplish my vocation? Well, that's part of the problem. Y'all, we forget what you were called for. Right? Forget about relationships. Just as a Israelite man, there was something that you were called for. Just as an Israelite woman, forget about husband, wife, forget about all that crap for a moment. And let's just deal with you as an individual brick in a building. You were called to fit in to this building as this brick. But see, the problem is you're supposed to fit this mold right here. Right? But this is you right now. You two, it don't fit. Wait, huh? Wait, no, it don't fit. How do I get here? How do I go from this to this?
Because none of us come as this.
Nobody comes like the little packed nice iPhone. We all come like this book, falling apart, raggedy. The whole binding is Like, goddamn, how can anybody read you?
God damn, this is gonna diss the
Everybody, your whole spirit is duct taped like the book, looking like his apocrypha that he's had for how long?
Since I've been here.
I mean, he actually put work in this, right?
Hey,
But your spirit is like this because all you're doing is bandaging things up and trying to
Making it
cover
worse.
up. Oh, so like, yeah, you hang. Look,
Thread.
your spirit is hanging on by a thread. This right here represents a lot of our spirit. You're trying to get here. The nice shiny iPhone, right? Pro Max, whatever.
It's 13.
13. Oh, it's a lot. The
Oh,
13,
lots.
right? Trying to get nice and clean and crispy, right? Right?
You gotta be careful. She's
Yeah, she put in work.
yeah, she's
Or he's careless.
my little homie.
But the point is,
8 years.
how do we get here? How do I get to this nice symmetrical curves and man, I just want to hold this, right? How do I get here? Well, what this represents compared to this, there's a lot that got to be cut off of this to make it fit to this shape. A lot of things got to be cut out. But how do I first cut things out? Well, I got to say, well, damn, all this damn duct tape ain't helping. Oop, let me get rid of the duct tape.
Damn.
Right? Oh, wait a minute. Let's get some new binding on the back cover. Oh, let's repaint him. You know what I'm saying? Oh, let's cut the cover. Let's cut off all the stuff that's not needed. Like, you got to go through this process of examination and really understanding what's needed. What's helping? What's really helping me? Is the things that I'm duct taping my spirit with, are they helping? Or are they just making me hang on by? Oh. And then you got duct tape in the wrong places. You should have duct taped the one string holding your spirit together. You might have lasted longer. Damn, you got to put some duct tape on that, brother. I'm trying to be delicate because this represents a lot of our spirit. I don't want to hurt nobody. Right? I'm trying to get us here. My bad. I don't want to hurt. Right? Put them down.
It's like
Somebody's gonna break it. It got to at least be that, bro.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't. Bro.
like you hold it like it's delicate, but you also kind of hold it like it's nasty. It's like
Because the guy, bro, who are you, Legion? Right? Because who wants to hold an unstable spirit? Who can? Who can? Well, you can't because that person toss. Right? Go to, did you finish that? Go to Ecclesiastes 5. Go to Ecclesiastes 5 and I want you to read verse 9. And this is the problem with instability or an unstable, unrooted person. You don't understand what you were called for. You don't know how to move towards what you're called for. So you're double-minded. Right? Read that real quick. Ecclesiasticus 5 and 9 in the Apocrypha slide.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 5, verse 9.
Right?
Winnow not with every wind,
Right?
and go not into every way.
Right. And that's the problem. Like, we're like these, it says winnow not, meaning don't be separated and blown away with every wind. Right? It says when you build, it says your house is going to be tried, how you build it. Now, what happened to the 3 little pigs? Whose house didn't get blown down? The cat that built with bricks. The cat that built with straw and hay, bro, he was butt naked out in them streets. And the cat that built with wood and it was poorly put together, I forgot the story. One built with hay, one built with brick, and one built with what?
I think it was wood.
Wood, okay. See, I remember. But the wolf was there blowing down that calamity. Or, I don't want to use the word calamity. The common, you know what's sad? It says winnow not with every wind. Well, think about it. The common problem shouldn't blow your house down. The common little lover spat that we have, it shouldn't blow your whole, it shouldn't sink your battleship. But y'all going to paddle like y'all the cats from Cuba on a little ass raft. You're supposed to build a tanker. You trying to cross the river on the podium. This ain't gonna last through the storm, through the water. This ain't waterproof. This ain't built for you to take a nice little ride from Cuba to Florida. Right? But a lot of us, that's what you're building because you don't want to be accountable for how you're building. Well, bro, your ship got holes in it. Nah, no, it don't. No, because I got a motor on the back. But what about the holes, bruh? What about the fact that you didn't waterproof the wood? Well, because the motor is going to be so fast that the water is not even going to get soaked. The wood is not even going to get soaked. Huh? Okay. Let's see. You come up with all the good things you did, but you don't acknowledge the things that's going to help you to fail. And you're like that ship in a storm being tossed. Because the engine failed anyway. You forgot to put a gas can. Right? You got the little lawnmower engine. It ain't going to work. Right? It fails anyway. And you're blown around. The scripture say in James, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. Right? But remember, what brings on the instability? It's the lack of accountability, the lack of acknowledgement of what is in you to cause the instability. It's like if you go buy a house. The 3 main things in a house that you expect, or there's 4 main things. What's the 4 main things you expect in a house when you buy it? I know he knows. What's the 4 main things? If I go buy a house right now, there's 4 things I'm looking at. 4 major components you need in that house. And there's a 5th you might add in, but that could be, it's 4. Roof, foundation, electrical, plumbing. Right? Those 4 things I'm going to try to investigate to the best of my ability. And I'm going to walk around like, damn, wait a minute. The whole house is separating from the concrete. But who goes to a house, buys it, and then afterwards you're like, oh, wow. Ooh, damn, we got a sinkhole in the back corner. Well, you didn't examine that? Or you see it and you're like, hosh posh. That'll take care of itself. Look how good the roof is. What? So the roof is great. The house is sinking. But it's going to take care of itself because it got good windows? Because it got nice fixtures? That's how brothers and sisters be looking at stuff. Like, you'll disannul the actual problem that's going to make the house tumble into a pit. And you're like, oh, well, they got a brand new roof and a shiny new doorknob. Look how it turns. It comes with refrigerator, all the appliances, fully furnished. Yeah, but it's all going to fall into the hole. You don't take care of the hole. Yeah. Right? I mean, right? I mean, right? Oh, okay, that was my high pitch, right?
You gotta work on that.
I gotta work on that. So, let's just talk about like 3 quick steps. 3 quick things to get our accountability back to where it needs to be to stabilize our homes, our children, our individual selves, the camp. How do we stabilize the things in our lives? Well, first and foremost, understand what it is that you're doing. Understand get yourself in the mind of what are we doing? Right? When I get on the phone with brothers and sisters, like husband and wife counsel, the first thing I'm like, okay, what are y'all trying to do? Get in the same mind and judgment of what are we trying to build here? What are we trying to accomplish? And once you get into the mind of what are we going to accomplish, then the who, what, where, when, how, all that it just starts to line up. Boom. But you got to first have the inception of, man, what are we trying to do? Are we trying to live like them in the world and fight and argue and have toxicity, toxic relationships? You trying to be a baby daddy, a baby mama? Are we trying to relive those patterns? Like, what are we doing now? And what are we trying to promote? That's first and foremost. And once you come to the conclusion that, you know what, we're trying to make it to the kingdom. We're trying to build in righteousness. We're trying to do things differently than how we did them previously. That's step number 1. Once you can agree, right? Ecclesiasticus 25:1, Corinthians 1:10, like all the agreement scriptures. Amos 3 verse 3. Once we come to say, you know what? We can agree, so we're going to walk together. Husband and a wife that agrees in one. right? Speaking the same judgment, speaking the same things. Once we get that down, the rest is kind of like easy. But you got to first ask yourself, what are we doing, fam? Let's make it make sense to each other. Right? How do we make this thing that we're doing make sense? Or are we just going to spin our wheels for the next 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, and then get to the same conclusion that we didn't fix nothing? So what are we doing? That's first and foremost. Come to the acknowledgement, right? What are we doing? Go to Proverbs 9 and verse 1. What are we doing, fam? I'm giving y'all all the hood. I'm giving y'all all the hood talk. Okay, yeah, insulation is one of them. You can't check all the insulation because remember, you got walls up, but insulation in the roof. Yeah, insulation in the attic or roof, yeah. But even that, insulation, windows, those things, I'm talking about the four majors that I'm gonna buy this house based on, or I'm not gonna buy this house based on, like electricity. If the electricity is shot, you're not gonna buy that house. That might be a 10, 15. Yeah, that's like a $20,000 problem depending on how far it extends. Foundation problems, you might say, oh, we're going to jack the house up and level it. But if that don't work, you might not mess with that. Roof, 6, 7, 8, 10, 20 grand, depending on how bad. Or if insurance wants to deal with it, or if you got the dough, right?
If you got the dough.
Plumbing? No, we can't mess with plumbing. No, we got to rip walls out. Because it ain't just plumbing. It's plumbing, walls, like there's problem on problem. But the whole point is to assess and say, wait a minute, I can't ignore this. Because this problem is going to lead to this problem, which is going to lead to this problem, which is going to lead to this problem. Right? Right. Where we at?
Book of Proverbs, chapter 9 and verse 1.
Right. So what are we doing, fam? That's not the point. That's just me saying that. But everybody got to come into this acknowledgement like, yo, what are we doing? Right? Don't relationships come to that point where it's like, yo, we got to reevaluate these things. We got to evaluate and say, man, what are we doing? It's like, damn, I don't know why. That's bad. Like, what are we doing? What are we trying to accomplish? How are we going to accomplish? Well, I like these scriptures right here because it tells you how. Read it.
Wisdom have builded her house.
Right, so what are we doing? What wisdom are we applying? What foundation are we laying down to build the house? It says wisdom build a house. Go ahead.
She have hewn out her 7 pillars.
Her what?
Her 7 pillars.
Wisdom gives us stability. 7 pillars represent complete stability. That's what pillars do. They offer stability, an anchor to support the roof and anchor the building so it ain't moving. Wisdom is going to give us complete stability. You could also write down Isaiah 33 and 6, right? But it says wisdom, 7 pillars, complete stability. Complete stability of mind, body, and spirit, man. Our children, our women, our kids, all that. Go ahead.
She have killed her beast.
She did what? She gonna tell us what to eat. She gonna provide it. Go ahead.
She have mingled her wine.
She gonna tell us what to drink and how to drink it. She's gonna show us moderation. She's gonna show us timing. See, why is this important? Because without it, we don't know how. And that's the problem. We go at these things not knowing what to do, what to look for. And then when the stuff starts to hit the fan, it's like, well, what do I apply in this situation?
Yeah.
What do I apply?
We make impulsive decisions, emotional decisions.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And then when you try to apply something, you're not applying biblical wisdom. You're applying either the things, emotions, what somebody told you, some advice from a coworker, right? What you had seen your dad do way back, your uncles and them. But it's telling you that wisdom is going to give you this complete guide to accountability and building. So if I build in wisdom, really my accountability is what? What is it? What is it to? Do I got to get searched out by a neighbor? Do I got to be justified in my own cause? No, it says wisdom crieth out. Wisdom is going to justify you. You're going to be held accountable to wisdom. That's it. That's the only accountability. Because you're going to do things the right way. But why now do you got to get searched out? Why the Most High got to try your heart and search you out and do all these things? Because when he gave you wisdom, you were like, oh, well, that seems too hard. Too much of a sacrifice. Too much dedication. Read on.
She hath also furnished her table.
She did what?
She hath also furnished her table.
Food, shelter, drink. Go ahead.
She hath sent forth her maidens.
Right?
She crieth upon the highest places of the city.
Go ahead.
Whoso is simple.
Who is what?
Whoso is simple.
Yeah, if you're simple-minded, and guess what? Is it wrong to be simple? Is it wrong? No, it's not. It's wrong to not acknowledge it. We were all simple and base at one point. We all still are. What it is when I don't acknowledge that I'm simple and I don't know a damn thing, that's where you're wrong. It's not the fact, like, come on, man. It's the Bible is telling you if you're simple, there's a way out of it. So it's not that it's wrong, but it's wrong when you deny the way. Nah, nigga, I'm smart. Well, guess what? We all smart. But where does a man's true smarts show? Not immediately. It don't take 5 minutes to build a house. But you see how smart a cat is when he builds it in 5 minutes. Oh, that wasn't smart, bro. Damn, you took 5 minutes? That wasn't smart. How did you get all that together in 5 minutes? Damn, really?
You only put one nail there?
Yeah, right. Damn, you ain't put no windows? What, you got a container home? Damn. Okay, right? The pop-up houses just popping up. No, it takes time. It takes time. It takes dedication. It takes planning. Right? I'm using this building, this house, but imagine you're the house. The house really ain't a building. It's you, your rib, your family. They're like the different components to a house. And if one little thing is out of place, guess what? The walls don't hang right. The window's going to have a gap. Air going to leak through. The door ain't put up right. The door ain't going to close right. It's all these different things that got to be on point. But it takes a dedicated mind, a prudent man, a prudent woman to apply wisdom, though, in these different situations that can be real bad. Go ahead.
Let him turn hither.
Right, go ahead.
As for him that wanteth understanding.
Right, what? That him that want what?
Wanteth understanding.
Yeah, what are we doing? If I want to understand what we're doing, I got to turn to wisdom. What are we doing and what are we doing it for? Who are we doing it for? Let's get on that page. Once we solidify that mind, the sky is the limit. And it doesn't matter what you're dealing with, you can always land on that point. Don't y'all get it? If I always have in the mind that dealing with brothers, that no matter what we go through, no matter what misunderstanding or misconception or whatever, as long as we can go and do what the Bible says, which is come to each other like men and deal. You hear me, I hear you. As long as we predicate things on that, guess what? I feel like anything can be fixed. And a misconception is just going to be a misconception. Or a misunderstanding is just going to be that, a misunderstanding. And then we move on. As long as we have that safety zone of doing what it says in Matthew, go to your brother. Talking. Oh, he don't want to hear you, go to this. As long as we have that safety net, this is my mind. Everybody don't think like me, but my mind is that we can talk through anything. As long as you and your rib have that safety net of, wait a minute, okay, join together, one flesh, the Bible, the wisdom, the knowledge, the Most High, the dedication, the vocation, the duty, the commitment. As long as things are predicated on that, you can go through anything, fall back, but land on those principles. Okay. But why is it in the world when they go through things and they fall? Because they're not principled on anything. They don't have no principles to fall back on. Except, well, nigga, divorce, taking all this stuff. Oh, I'm leaving her. Right? No wisdom, no working things out, no talking through things, no giving things time to to mature, no giving things time to work itself out the right way. You know, you got residual or things that take its time, man, to work through the system. But as long as we can fall back on these principles of wisdom, because what does wisdom say? Don't be rash, don't be harsh, don't be this, be meek, be mild, be humble. As long as we can fall on those principles, we can work through things. But if we can't, we ain't got them principles, then guess what? This is why it's chaos. Go ahead.
She saith him,
Right?
come, eat of my bread,
Right?
and drink of the wine which I have mingled.
Go ahead.
Forsake the foolish,
Uh-huh.
and live, and go in the way of understanding.
Go to Proverbs 24 and verse 3. So this is just step one, just understanding. What are we doing? What are we here for? What is our vocation? What are we called for? And how are we going to go about to accomplish what we are called to do? Read that.
Proverbs chapter 24 verse 3.
Go ahead.
Through wisdom is in house building.
Go ahead.
And by understanding it is
See,
established.
the understanding of what we're doing is what is going to establish that foundation to where it can't be moved. You ever hear, oh, this is established in blah, 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 right? What are they telling you? That this thing been around since this time and it ain't moved. Such and such established in 1951. Oh, so since 1951, this is where they've been at.
Yeah.
Right? Or this is where this came about, but nothing moved it. No matter what they went through, they were able to fall back on whatever principles they had to keep their establishment going. You're an establishment. You're an establishment. You're an establishment. Every brother in here is an establishment within himself. Every sister, every child is an establishment in their self. There should be an immovable object that is rooted in a place and don't move for any reason. Read on.
Verse 4. And by knowledge and by knowledge
Right?
shall the chambers be filled with all precious and pleasant riches.
Right. Go ahead.
A wise man is strong.
Read.
Yea, a man of knowledge increases
See,
strength.
it's all about knowing what we're doing to increase that strength, to increase those walls, to increase that foundation. It's about knowing, knowledge, knowing, coming to the agreement of what are we doing. Step one. Step two. And there's many steps, but I'm only going to give you 3. Step 2. Stop lying. Stop lying, man. Oh my God. Bruh. Stop lying. Straight up. Just stop lying. Stop lying to yourself. Stop lying to others. Stop lying to me. Stop lying to your mama. Stop lying in the mirror. Stop lying. You know why? Because that's what's blocking you from seeing what you need to see. The lies you tell yourself. Stop lying. Straight up. We got to stop it. Go to Ephesians 4:25. Somebody else get Colossians 3 and 9. Stop lying. Too many liars, and that's why the Bible says, give me the one in Ecclesiasticus. It goes right with wisdom. He was far from pride. Liars could not remember. Give me that. Give me that. Huh? No, that's in Wisdom of Solomon. This one is in Ecclesiasticus. Go ahead. Where you at?
Ephesians chapter 4 verse 25.
Right?
Wherefore, putting away lying.
Right. He said, do what?
Putting away lying.
Go ahead. All lying, not just I'm not lying to the brothers no more. I'm just lying to myself. Or I ain't lying to. I'm just lying to her. No, he said, put away lying. Come clean. What's that?
Was it Ecclesiasticus 15:8?
Yep. I was. Look. It's right there. Yep, it is. We're gonna go there. But stop lying. Come clean. Wash your garments, right? Wash the blood off. Take the accountability take the account for what you've done, you'll see you'll go a lot further, and you'll stop having this. There's a mental, spiritual block that comes on liars. I'm gonna show you. Go to where she said. Hold where you at. Go to Ecclesiasticus 15 and verse 8.
Ecclesiasticus chapter 15, verse 8.
Go ahead.
For she is far from pride.
Right? Because liars get prideful. She is wisdom. So wisdom is far from pride because niggas be lying, B. You chicks be lying. You sisters and you brothers, y'all be lying like kids. And then you get prideful. Go ahead.
And men that are liars
Right?
cannot remember her.
And that's the problem. You forget how to build, and what the hell you here for because you're lying to yourself. You're too busy. Your brain is muddled up with the keeping up the facade and the lies and keeping up with this lie that you told 6 months ago that you told yourself and that lie you told a year ago and try to remember that lie. You try to remember all the lies and not the wisdom to get you out the lies. So your brain is clogged with the wrong information. You got to purge. You got to purge the lies. That way wisdom can now enter and take in and show you how to build. But if you think you got, see, the lie is this. It ain't like you lying about like how much money you making. No, I got this. That's the lie. You good? Calm. Really? Oh, okay. That's the lie. The lie is, I got this. It's all good. It's not that big of a deal. It's going to be okay. That's the lie. Don't you get it? That's the deception that you're telling yourself when it's not okay. It's not okay. Right? It's not going to be okay. Because the problem ain't just going to disappear. Like the lie is, I'm going to pine away. I'm just going to pine away, and then you know what? My problems are just going to dissolve away with the smoke. Okay, so crackheads and weed heads and people that's on drugs and alcoholics ain't got problems? I'm just going to drink it down in the bottle. Nah, you're not actually. You're going to drink, get drunk, cause more problems on top of the problems that you had, be pissed off at those problems, and go drink again, and then add more problems and sin to sin. Ain't that how that works? Show me a person that got drunk and all of a sudden, no more issues. But that's the deception. It's okay, I got this. Now, I'm not saying like, a brother shouldn't be confident or a sister shouldn't be confident in their own ability to be able to handle their issues. But see, once you get real with yourself, you know what you can and can't handle. Once you sit back and examine the product of your doing, the fruit, you look at the fruit and you're like, wait a minute. So it looks like an apple. It's shiny. It's red. But then when I bit it, it tastes sour as hell. And it got a worm in the middle. What did I not do? Well, don't worry about that worm. That worm, no. All apples have worms, Doc. They do? All apples have worms? Right? Oh, no. It was supposed to be a green apple, sour apple, but somehow the skin turned red. No, let's just deal with the problems. You see my point?
Yeah.
Oh no, I just took the gold, threw it in the fire, and a calf came out. Right? It's the same mind state. Yeah. Like you did something and it's something mystical out of the ordinary that shouldn't have never happened. I don't know how it happened, Doc. It was magic. No. Acknowledge the issues. Right? Where we at? But you can't acknowledge something if you're too muddled up with lying. You see that? Go back, Derek.
Ephesians chapter 5 and verse 20.
I want y'all to be able to have it. I want y'all to be confident in that you can fight. But this is the thing. There's a difference between being confident and being ignorant. There's a difference between confidence and ignorance. And a lot of us are too ignorant at our situations where you're trying, but you're not fighting the right way and you're causing more damage. When you got to step back and get trained. You got to go through the dojo. You know what I'm saying? Like, I watched it. Kazaki uses this example all the time. Like, does a Buddhist monk learn how to be a Buddhist monk on YouTube? Oh, well, I watched a bunch of videos and all of a sudden I can take a knife in the gut.
Yeah.
Hell nah. Try it and see if you don't bleed out. No, you got to go to the temple. Sit with the monks. Go through the discipline. That's why it's called the disciplines. And you go through it. And you don't start with getting knives in your gut. You start sitting at the front of the door waiting for them to open it. Test number 1, patience. Long suffering. You be out there for months before they open that door. They never know. You never know when. But you're sitting in the front of that gate hoping and praying and faith and patience. Then all of a sudden you hear, come my son. And you done grew a whole beard. You done got skinny, emaciated. You just want to sleep. Nope. First lesson. Second lesson, right? And they putting you through it. But you can't go to YouTube and learn how to be a monk. You can't go to YouTube and learn how to be a priest. You can't go to YouTube and learn how to deal with your rib, how to deal with your spirit, how to deal with yourself, how to deal with your kids. It ain't going to work. You got to sit amongst the examples to learn it, to see it, to engage in it, to spar with it, to really see where you're at. I commend everybody, in being faithful, like or being, I got this, but we got to be real. Don't be ignorant, right? It's a difference between ignorance and confidence, right? You got to know when you ain't got it, but it really takes stepping back and acknowledging yourself. Go ahead, read on.
Ephesians 5:25.
Right.
Wherefore, putting away lying,
Right.
speak every man truth with his neighbor.
Go ahead.
For we are members one of another.
And that's what we got to realize, that we affect each other. The lie you tell yourself is going to affect me down the line, because I'm going to hold you in account for what you're lying to yourself about. Oh, I got this. Okay, cool. Well, now you're accountable. Boom. I'm trusting that you got it. But then you go and you fail. I'm like, wait, I thought you had it. You said you had it. What happened? Oh, well, really, I really thought I didn't have it a lot. I had like part of it. No, all you have to say is, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, okay, cool. Watch, look. So look, this is what we're going to do. Boop, 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 boop. It's like if I send them into the mall and say, hey, listen, we're about to open up a new mall. Go in there and work. Well, I know that he got it because he proved it through the last mall. Right? He proved already. But what if he didn't never work the mall? And I'm like, you got it? And he's like, yeah. Then he goes in the mall and fails. Well, he should have said, no, I ain't got it. But I should have also said, nah, you ain't got it. Let's get some training. Training. There's nothing wrong with that. But pride stops you from wanting to be trained and instructed. Go ahead. What verse you at?
Verse 26.
Right. So from there, go to Colossians 3:9. And then we'll go to step 3, and that's a wrap. Colossians 3:9, real quick.
Colossians chapter 3, verse 9.
Right.
Lie not one to another.
Right.
Seeing that ye have put off the old man with his deeds.
He is telling us right here his deeds. If I keep lying about the way I did things, I'll never change it. If I don't acknowledge that I did things a certain way in the past, I'll never make changes for the future. So I got to stop lying to myself that my way is right. I got to stop lying to myself that my way is good. Step back. Step back and examine that fruit. Examine the fruits of your labor. And if you got thorns and thistles, then them seeds didn't take hold. If you got fruit but it's sour, you need to add some amendments to your soil. You got to water things more. You got to talk more. You got to do all these different things to figure out, wait a minute, why is it not coming out the way it was advertised? What am I not doing? If I'm the husbandman and I'm responsible for the way this fruit grows, then I got to be responsible and take accountability for what I didn't do. You know what? My cucumbers came out weirdly shaped because I didn't add enough water. I didn't water on time. Or I didn't put enough dirt. Or I didn't do this. Or I didn't do that. Like, it's the same thing with people, with your rib, with your kids. But why are they always angry? Well, I'm not talking to them enough. Why are they always disjointed from everybody? Oh, because I let them be alone all the time. I let them be loners. Why this? Why that? Oh, well, I got to take the accountability for what I'm not doing. Y'all see this? I know I sound like a broken record. We're almost done. Go ahead.
Verse 10. And have put on the new man.
The new man can only come about once you see what the old man needs to fix. That's it. That's the only way. Like, you can't, like, disguise, like, you trying to disguise the old man? You trying to put him in blackface? Oh, damn. Some of y'all walk around in blackface or what? You trying to put on the new man like he's a Halloween costume that you're going to take off? No, it's supposed to be a ever putting on, a ever taking off that and killing that old man and continually walking around in that new man. But for some, the new man is a Halloween costume. He's what you want everybody to see you as. But then, I can take him off. And you strip. He's like a face paint. He's like makeup to some. But why is he not permanent? That's the question. Why is the new man, why is the new woman not permanent? Why is he not a permanent fixture in the house you built in wisdom? Because the wisdom has to be applied in yourself first to keep that new man around. There has to be a constant acknowledgement to keep that new man flourishing and growing and rooted. But what happens is, what are you getting tossed to and fro in your instability? The old way of doing things mixed with the new way of doing things. And you get these mixed results. And you might get a win 25% of the time. You might do it right 25% of the time, but you neglect the 75%. So you got to work at putting off the old, keeping them off, and keeping that new man growing. Go ahead.
Which is renewed in knowledge.
Huh?
Which is renewed in knowledge.
You see how it always goes back to knowledge, to knowing? What am I doing? How am I being renewed? In what knowledge? I got to be renewed. Why? Because the oldness in me, the old demon, the old niglet in me is doing what? Breaking things down. I got to be renewed in a different level of knowledge to be able to accomplish and move forward. Step 3. Step 3. See, and I'm gonna show you something about relationships that a lot of people don't understand. That there's a killer of relationships. It doesn't matter if it's husband, wife, brothers, sisters. It don't matter. There's something that kills relationships on all levels, and it's transparency. Transparency is this thing that nobody wants to endeavor into. Oh, that's private. Really? What's private? Because ain't nothing that you ever been through that's uncommon that I ain't never heard. Or that anybody ain't never heard. Right? But we take this thing and we try to gloss things over and cover things up, and it leaves the other party in guessing mode. And then what does that do? Don't that bring demons?
More demons.
Don't that bring stagnant situations? Now, see, the problem is this. The scriptures say, know those that labor amongst you.
Yeah.
And if I know that the people that I'm laboring with need to be appeased in a way of transparency, I'm going to have to be transparent. Why? Because I'm not trying to add situations that or create extra situations. So a little transparency in like relationships, husband, wife, brothers got to learn how to be a little bit more transparent. And that doesn't mean that all of a sudden she just privy to all your business and every move that you make it and this, that, and the third. But I know if my rib got damn demons on her because I keep leaving and not saying nothing, I might say, hey babe, I'm about to run over to the store real quick. You need anything? No, I'm good. But if I'm looking and I'm observing her and I'm looking and I'm trying to make sure that, wait a minute, what are we doing? We here to fight? Am I here to cause demons? Am I here to cause problems? Oh no, look, I'm about to go over here real quick. What's up? You good? Yeah, oh, I'm good. You just kept leaving.
Yeah.
He just kept leaving, and I didn't understand what the hell was going on. Oh, well, let me appease that demon. Right? Why, though? Why? What's the point? What's the point of doing that? Just to do it? To shut her up? What?
Because you're foreseeing the evil.
Right. Now, doesn't it get to a point where at some point down this road of holding hands and making love and doing all these things that I'm supposed to be teaching her out of these moments to where now I don't got to give an account for what I'm about to go do. She gets it. Right? I don't have to sit there and say, oh, look, here's my location. Look, see? And I took a picture here because, and look at my background. I was where I said I was going to be. What the? Huh? No, you teach her and you show her like, no, look, you can trust me. Look, I said I was going to be here. Boom, I'm here. Right? Then it gets to a point where I got to keep doing that. But you got to know who you're dealing with.
Yeah.
You got to know those that labor with you. Right? Think about it. We got businesses. Are the books, are you not able to see what the mall makes?
Okay.
Are you not able? Everybody can see. He can see it. Everybody that works in the mall can go right to the computer and look at what the mall makes. Why? Why? Because if you're in there working and you're not understanding where the money is going, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, they robbing me. Nah, we broke. We broke as hell. No, the money. Look, this is how much we made. This is how much we pay school rent. This is how much the lights. This is how much this. This is how much that. Taxes, right? I'm always saying, look, I just paid the taxes. Look, I had to order bottles. I had to do this. We always given an account of our actions to do what? To keep calm, cool heads, right? So I want you to read.
And
Oh yeah.
and you know, if I could say even just on that, you know, me personally, like I've never, you know, like my whole time working the mall, like I never like looked at the books and been like, what's going on here, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I've never, because I've had that trust. But again, if a person doesn't have that trust, that's why the books is there.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? But me personally, I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't need.
That's not a lesson that you need to be.
Yeah, but in case, like McGunn was saying, foreseeing the evil, in case you know that isn't there, then
because we've had it. We've had the accusation. It's like, what? Nigga, what are you talking about?
And I also wanted to say this too. Like one thing that we do have to remember is that we're a team, right? We're a unit. So with us being a team and a unit, then everybody has to understand the play. You see what I'm saying? Everybody got to know where they need to be at for everything to function correctly. And a team will lose or a team will mess up if not everybody is on the same page. You see what I'm saying? Like even now in the camp, like for brothers, for the most part, you know, we try as best as we can to be on the same page. Why? Because if we're all on the same page, then there's no way for Satan to get in. The confusion is now mitigated. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So,
but for those that are not quite caught up, what do you do? What do you do? Well, let's read what you do.
Yeah.
And this is gonna be a hard one for brothers to swallow. I know, because we're men's, right? But go ahead, read.
After the image of him that created him.
Romans 12:6. Salak. Oh, you were finishing that. Yeah, Romans 12:6.
16.
12 and 16. Offer some level of transparency, because this is going to allow for teaching moments. This is going to allow a person to really know you, know those that labor amongst you. Read it.
The book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 16.
Right?
Be of the same mind, one towards another.
But what if we're not in the same mind? Go ahead.
Mind not high things,
Read.
but condescend to men.
Do what?
Condescend to men
Right?
of low state.
Yeah, sometimes a brother might have to condescend to his wife. You know what it means to condescend? Anybody? Off the top of your head.
Come down.
To come down. To get up off your man rank. Get up off your man rank. Right? I got to do it all the time. Kazakia does it all the time. When we talk, It ain't like, oh no, you can't see that. Because then I'd be like, wait a minute, what the hell's going on over there? Then I'm gonna start asking questions like, wait, hold up, what's up, right? But he's like, oh no, look, boom, boom, same thing. I'm like, look, sometimes, hey, how much cash you got? Bro, I ain't got no cash. What's up? Oh well, bro, I had to buy bottles. I had to get some soap for the mall. I had to get this. I had to get that. I had to spend the money on stuff for the school. Okay, cool, right? But how come he doesn't have to, like, well, show me the receipts, Doc? That's a whole nother level. That's a whole nother level, right? Yeah. Show me the receipts, brother. Well, because he knows those that labors amongst him. We built a rapport. We built a companionship, a brotherhood, where I can take him at his word. He hasn't shown me anything where I can't take him at his word. He might forget things, because Zaki forgets things. And it's like, no, remember you said that? No, I don't remember. No, you said it. Remember? No, but no, you said that. Well, I forget everything, so I probably didn't say it. That's what he would say. You know what I'm saying? Right? But what I'm y'all see what I'm saying, where I've never given him a reason to not take my word and vice versa. So I can say, look, and I don't abuse that to where, I'm gonna just blame it on buying stuff for the mall, but I'm gonna pay my car note. No, it don't work like that. 'Cause that's gonna get exposed. That's gonna fall. You see that? But the transparency is for the benefit of the person in a low estate. That's the whole point. You're trying to bring them to a higher state. Remember, what are we doing, fam? What are we doing? If I'm trying to build with you, but you don't know how to build, do I just hand you the hammer and say, go at it? No, I got to jump out of Operation Quatazat mode and come down and say, okay, this is how you hit a nail into a hammer, or a hammer with a nail. Don't hit your finger. Bam. And I got to go through and teach you all the things that I may be high-minded in. I may have a higher knowledge, but now I got to bring myself down to not mind those high things and come down to a baser knowledge to get you to be able to swing a hammer. Y'all see that? It's that simple. But what are we doing? What are we trying to accomplish? We trying to build something or not? I don't know. Yeah. So I got to condescend, right? Okay, so let me show you what condescend means. He said it, to come down. To descend from a privilege of superior rank or dignity. We know the husband got the rank over the woman. We know the mom got the rank over the children. Sometimes you moms got to condescend to your children in certain instances. And stop treating them like them. Stop bullying them. Be bullying your kids. Because they don't know stuff, man. Condescend. Right? To do some act to an inferior. Which with strict justice or the ordinary rules of with strict justice or the ordinary rules of civility do not require. See, this is not a requirement, but it is. You know why? Because what are we doing? It's required for those that are wise and that have wisdom enough to see that I have to condescend in certain areas to get everybody up to the same page. How can we understand each other if we're not on the same page? If I'm not willing to condescend and get down in the mud with you, you're not going to understand me. I won't understand you.
When we finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hence to submit.
Oh, what?
Hence to submit.
Ooh, wait. But it says wives submit to your own husbands. Huh? Hence to what?
Hence to submit or yield.
Brothers don't like that word when it comes to them. Like, you got to submit to her? Yeah. What you got to submit to is her lack of understanding. Stop trying to force the understanding into her brain and submit to the fact that you didn't teach her. That's what you're submitting to. Submit to that. That, oh, damn, I didn't bring her up to speed on this. You know what? Maybe pump my brakes and walk her through and teach her. Yeah. I didn't do my job. Read.
As to an inferior.
Right?
Implying and occasionally relinquishment of distinction.
Yep. To recede from one's rights in negotiation or common intercourse, to do some act which strict justice. No, okay, right. to stoop or to descend, to yield, to submit. Relinquishment of rank or dignity or of character. Sometimes sinking into debasement. Sinking into the basement, right? So a little transparency ain't gonna hurt. If you're trying to get somewhere in life, I ain't gonna front. If you're trying to really do something, you gotta give a little bit to get a little bit. And that's really what it is I'm giving some, but I'm trying to get more in return. I'm trying to get more for the bigger picture, right? I'm gonna give you this, but you gotta be willing to give something back, so we can take 2 steps instead of 1 step, 4 steps instead of 2 steps. That's what it should be. You giving is a step, me giving is a step. Now we taking 2 steps together. But if I'm the only one stepping, or if you're the only one stepping, then what are we doing? I'm stepping on your toes, you stepping on my toes, we square dancing. Right? Instability. Any questions?
What was number 1?
Number one was
Understand what you're trying to build.
just like understand what you're trying to build. Understand what you're in. Understand that you're not in a regular relationship. You're not in a regular. This ain't church, right? You understand what you're called for. Understand the purpose of the vocation. Yeah. What is we doing? What we doing, man? Yeah. Yeah. I didn't want to go all the way over like that. Yeah. Right. Read. Everybody online. 19 people. Remember, brothers, get your garment money in by the 30th of November. Garment money due by the 30th of November. You go to isbhbk.com. There's a link in there where you can click, get your garment size, and then you can send your money. Please do that.
Remember also, Zion will be live, Rochester, New York tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
Check on that.
Rochester, New York channel, ISBHBK Rochester, New York. Check that out.
Yep.
Virginia will be live Friday
And
and Saturday. If you want, you can definitely switch over to San Antonio's class. They're live as well right now. So